On the other hand, the pace of the game is so fast, under enormous competition pressure, more and more teams are actively pursuing youth, and for school rights, and young players to be more visible, and Lethen and Mass are the best examples, the core architecture of young people helping them to be fast and strong in the lineup, and also giving the team enough physical energy to go through long races, and during this season, a team decided to change their shoes completely to put pressure on the future of these real big shows, such as recalling the past. The Bulls took Wilson out of the 4th round, the Kings took Acuff out of the 7th round, they seemed ready to say goodbye to a senior, buy a new cycle, stop short of the 5th round, and the road finally ended with the playoffs with the Letta brother, get Hero, and Weir in the deal bags that Hira had sold, and picked the rear guard Barris and frontman Ament, and the Blue Network continued to rebuild the road, finishing 6th. NBJ, the question is, are these teams really right? Will the young people who are clear on their points be the right answer? Today, let's talk about these desperate championships, sell to new teams, and then come back to each team, and I'll have a little bit of a discussion about how a high-tech goalie can succeed. The most typical example is the Yankees and the Cancus, who were the most thoroughly integrated team to meet the new core, and who sent Little Jackson to Salt Lake City in the middle of the 25-26 season. After the start of the regular season, the team quickly cleared Morin to Portland, Jackson Jr. of playoff foul play, and the bad situation outside Morin Stadium, which led to the deal being made by the management of the Yankees and sent 2 core members away in just 5 months, which was of course a signal to drive the reconstruction. In fact, today we are looking at it from a different perspective, and these 2 deals are also meant to give Little Buser a painful place. After all, the most important thing is not how many stars are there, but how the team is willing to hand the ball over to you. After Jackson and Morin left, it is unclear whether the hardline direction of the team will be clear for the next few years. While the 2 core members left, Liu Xiaobo left behind mature backs like Jerome, Spencer, and other, and the second-grade carry shares the pressure, which is not a direction for the team to cultivate the young Buser, which is a difficult environment for any vegetable bird to grow in. The same goes for the workflow, which has also put a lot of effort into changing the space to accommodate the CW. The team's selection of Patrick Williams, the team's South Division manager, and the main striker, Chavage, was already over the age of the Hurricane. The first time the team was able to do so was to leave Saxton, Simons and others behind during the season, with the core framework of Giddy and Buselis being retained. After Wilson was elected, the position of the wind line of the workflow was significantly improved, and in order to play the CW's flexibility and defensive advantage, Workflow also bought the Claxton, a mobile machine gun from Wolfgang. In the meantime, with Giddy as my backup coach, and without worrying about Wilson taking on a lot of the ball on the offensive side, he can gradually improve his offensive methods, with the result that he can increase the score by 8 seconds. The CW cultivation environment is also remarkable, and the legendary KG2 is the opportunity to make a huge contribution to both ends of the supply chain at the same time. The Chinese, the industrialist, may not be in the same stage, but their choice to leave the future in the hands of young people, whether it is clearing the core or redistributing the ball, has created as much room for the vegetable birds as possible. The first time I saw a young player, I was surprised to learn that the platform was the best starting point for him, but there is another possibility. The team also selected a few new talented players, but there was no immediate way around them. The team has not yet found a clear direction forward, and if the team cannot complete a positive update, will the environment for the vegetable birds to grow be ensured? The first team to qualify for this challenge is King. Since the mid-game, the deal messages of DD2, Levin, Sand and Sand have never been broken, and now that DD2 has completed the purchase, the rumors of Levin's purchase have been more than subdued. As for the little guy with his own money, trying to find a home may take some time. The first time the team was able to do this was to get a new team to participate in the competition. The team chose AQF in this context, and it is not conscious that it is going to get all the resources it needs to cultivate. Unlike the small Buser's CW, the backup star of the AQF requires more ballroom power. He is also known for his ability to play the ball and his ability to pass the ball to the ball. The King, therefore, must finish the cleansing of the senior officers as soon as possible to avoid the newcomers being subjected to the same fate again. After all, they just sent Davon Carter away, but, as I was shouting, the core of the AQF doesn't have to worry about him being the team he's going to be with sooner or later. The only thing that he may not have had was the ability to control the absolute core position from the beginning. The first time the team had a chance to win the World Cup, it was the second time the team had won the World Cup, and the last time they had a chance to win the World Cup, it was the second time they had won the World Cup. Of course, as the results of Leonard's Nanyang joint venture are unclear, and it is hard to say whether Leonard or Ingram were the first to sign a new record team. The team has been able to make a significant impact on the team. But whoever it is, it should not be a hurdle to stop the cultivation of new ones. After all, Wagler's situation is different from AQF's, and Wagler's strength and speed are not up, but he has excellent IQ for playing. The next stage of the match, Wagler was unable to get more of his opponents in the ball, and he was suffering from a lot of pain. In the final game at the airport, he changed the gameplay, using a combination of no ball and threats to throw, and suggested adding to the roster. I also think that even if he doesn't get the ball all the way, Wagler has the opportunity to play a more efficient game through a ballless and varied pace, and that even if he doesn't get the ball all the way, he can play a more efficient game. The first is that the newly created Garland and others can coexist. If all goes well, the position of Wagler and Garland will be even more likely to be a bull in the next halftime. The government has already announced that the government will stop the use of the internet to prevent the spread of illegal drugs. The first is that the two countries have been in a similar situation, but at least they are clear about the situation. The team has decided to put the future in the hands of young people, and the team is now in the hands of the young people. Some have already cleared the way ahead, others are still looking for a trade opportunity, and some are still trying to get a deal. But as long as the direction is not changed, the dialogue will always be a chance for the people to participate. The last thing that I want to do is to make sure that the new generation of veterans are at the same time fighting hard. The future of the company is about who is right, and the management itself has not yet had a definitive answer. In such an environment, talent may no longer be the biggest advantage, but it is a very important factor in the development of the country. The question of how to keep pace with the competition is the first question that the Hearts of the Road and the Blue Network have to face. The film is about a young boy who is a hero, and a young girl who is a hero. The first is the Barry and Ament which were selected by the National Film Board. The first is that the young people are not the only ones who are being bullied. The first is that the company is not a big business, but it is a small business. The team has been in a difficult situation for some time, but it is also the reason why the team has been in a difficult situation. Hero is a good year to play and wants to prove that he can be the first goal scorer for a team. The first time I saw a video of a woman in a fire, I was surprised to learn that she was not there. The first time I saw a video of a man who was in a coma, I was surprised to learn that he was not happy with the spot. The two birds, the Aments, have a beast-like body. The first is that the government has not yet taken any action to stop the violence. The first time the team played in the summer, Barry's was a great team. The team has been able to improve their overall performance by scoring 23.5 points, 4.5 assists, 4.3 rebounds, and 4.3 blocks. The game is a great game for the players. The last time I saw a car, I was in the car and I was in the car. We can see the names of KPJ, Rollins, Hero, GTJ, AJ Green and others. The first thing that I want to do is to get rid of the old ones, and to get rid of them is to get rid of them. The new government is also expected to continue to support the efforts of the opposition. The first is that the government has not yet taken any action to prevent the deaths of the victims. In a sense, the road is more like reopening an internal competition. The first person to grow up, the first to develop their talents, has more chances of becoming a real hardcore player in the years ahead. The biggest advantage of roads is that they have enough choice to make the most of the time. The biggest danger is also the fact that there are too many choices. The road is a major source of traffic and traffic. The rebuilding of the Blue Network has been stalled. NBJ is probably the best talent that can be found on the Blue Network, and it's the most important talent in the world. The first time the NBA has been able to do this, it's been a while since the NBA was able to do this. The problem is that the backline of the Blue Net is just as crowded. The first time I saw a woman who had a great job in the country, I was surprised to learn that she was a good person. The first is that the Blue Network is a powerful position, and it is clearly competing for the lead position in the Blue Network with its strong gestures. In addition to the team's lack of organizational capacity, trial is also a very important part of the team's strategy. The French defender is also one of the contestants in the lineup. Last year's handheld show POW, although it was not a hit, was also a hit. The team has been able to gain a place in the team for a while, but with the ability to defend, it can also be a place in the team. The team also had a losing team, NBJ, and newly formed Random, who were also in the starting lineup. The two sides will also share considerable resources for the offensive. The first is that the country is not a country, and that is why it is a country that is not a country. The question is whether the Blue Network will position NBJ as the absolute core. But with his talent, or his regular attendance, it should be no problem. But he doesn't really have a unique position like Little BJ and CW. This is exactly what I said, and I'm going to say it again. The same thing happened to the bands, but different teams were playing together. The first is that the development of the new technology is not the same as the first. Well, that's all I'm saying, and you should be able to see it. The 6 teams mentioned above have 3 different ideas, and they are trying to get the best out of the game. Some people have been injured in advance, others are waiting for the lineup update, and some are still in the hospital. The young people were also put on the same runway. The first is that the government should be able to decide who is going to be its own people. The platform is already here, but it is not the same as a successful platform. We have seen too many high-profile players. The first time I saw the world was in the middle of the night, and I was so excited to see it. The commission represents the talent that really determines the future, and the people who are responsible for it. The first is the growth process. The talent that gets you into the NBA is the talent that gets you into the NBA. The only way to stay in the NBA is to keep improving. Many fans like to blame the water for the cause. The truth is not that simple. The NBA is a modern-day game that is designed to help young people learn about the game. The first time I saw the video was in the early days of the internet. The first time the game was played in the United States, and the second time the game was played in the United States. But today's coalition, regardless of the pace of industrial transformation, is not going to be able to keep up with the demand. The new strategy has been developed to a new level. The young player is not only physically fit, but also has the ability to play well. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to read the game. The first is the ability to handle the ball and adapt to different defensive strategies. The first is that the opposition will not reduce any targeting because you are a bird. They will magnify your every weakness. So, back to the question at the beginning of the video. The team is not the only team that has been successful in this regard. The first is that the human body is not the only one that can do this. The story is just beginning because the election is over. The first time I saw the video was in the video, and I was surprised to learn that the video was not a good one. The first is that the number of people who are in the country is not the same as the number of people who are in the country. The first is that the country is not a country. The first is that the people of the country are not allowed to vote. The team will continue to maintain their original training plan. Maybe a few years later, I'll be back. The young people were among the young people. The new coalition will be the new face of the union. The first is that the government has not been able to meet the expectations of the outside world. The first is that the government has not yet approved the proposal. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to answer that question.